The Indiana Fever dropped to 2-1, and Commissioners cut play with a loss to the Atlanta Dream on Tuesday night, 77.58. The two teams were tied going into a halftime, but a strong third quarter from the Dream allowed them to pull away in the second half. Fever forward Natasha Howard led Indiana with 15 points and 10 rebounds, while Kelsey Mitchell had 11 points. The Fever are now 4.5 and have a few days off before they play the New York Liberty on Saturday afternoon at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Here are 3 observations. Tough third quarter leads to loss against the Dream. The Atlanta Dream play physical, and that's something the Fever and teams around the league have come to expect. But Atlanta was still able to impose its will on Indiana, especially when it came down to the third quarter. Indiana went into halftime tied with Atlanta at 33, but came into the third quarter sluggish. The Fever only scored 4 points through the first 7 minutes of the third quarter and made multiple bad pass turnovers, giving up possessions to the Dream. Atlanta took advantage of their edge in transition too, turning those turnovers into easy layups. Indiana could never really find a rhythm in the third, returning to that discombobulated offense that plagued them in the first 2 games that Fever point guard Caitlin Clark was out. They also struggled defensively, allowing Brianna Jones to take control of the paint for 8 points for the Dream. Alicia Gray, an early Most Improved Player candidate, also had 8 points in the third quarter alone. By the end of the quarter, what was a tied game turned into a 14-point lead for the Dream. Indiana scored 9 points in the third, and Atlanta scored 23, and that deficit became insurmountable. Kelsey Mitchell, Stephanie White, pick up technicals in second half. Indiana was not happy with the referees' calls, or lack of them, in the second half on Tuesday. Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell picked up a technical foul with about 30 seconds left in the third quarter. It came after she was called for a foul and seemed to say something to the referees or a Dream player that prompted officials to give her the tech. Fever coach Stephanie White got the Fever's second technical of the night with about 3 minutes left in the game after a 3-point miss from Natasha Howard led to a scrum under the basket for the rebound. Dream forward Chatori Walker-Kimbrough came up with the ball, and White was called for the tech after saying something to officials on the sideline. In the end, those 2 extra points for Atlanta didn't matter much. They were up by double digits for most of the second half. Subscribe.